Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. My name is Jeremy Leffler, the Policy Office at the National Science Foundation, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another session of our virtual grants conference. And I'm now pleased to present this session, which will cover programs in the NSF Directorate for Mathematical and Physical Sciences. And this session will be presented by Bogdan Mihaila.
Okay, thank you very much for participating in this event. It's a distinct pleasure and honor for me to speak about activities in the Directorate for Mathematical and Physical Sciences and MPS. So let's see. This talk will be structured around the following topics. Give a brief overview, of the MPS Directorate. We will emphasize, spend some time talking about multidisciplinary research and instrumentation programs that our MPS communities take advantage of. We'll make some remarks regarding the faculty early career development program, and we will conclude with remarks regarding the broadening participation and undergraduate research programs at NSF. Let's see, I think that you've seen this org chart before, but I just wanted to point out that MPS sits here. It's one of the research directorates at NSF, together with TIP, Bioscience, Engineering, Geo, and Social and Behavioral and Economic Sciences, SBE. Again, something that you are probably familiar with already, because otherwise you wouldn't be in this session. The directorate is organized around 5 divisions. The Division of Astronomical Sciences, the Chemistry Division, Division of Materials Research, the Division of Mathematical Sciences, and the Division of Physics. I am sitting in the Division of Physics. I'm a program director in that particular division, but I work closely with my colleagues across MPS. It's not unheard of. The proposal that's submitted to one particular program in one particular division will be co-reviewed and co-funded if found to be meritorious by the program the proposal was submitted to in collaboration with other programs across MPS and across NSF at large. Next, if you would like to find out more about the structure of MPS, mission statements of the various divisions, and lots of other information, we would like to refer you to the MPS Directorate brochure. There is a 2020 version that is shown here. These documents are being updated on a quasi-regular basis, but things do not change that dramatically as far as the core programs and the divisions are concerned. So I think that either one of these things could serve for the purpose of actually providing additional information. For the most current information, please always refer to the NSF website. There you'll find out information about the program, special initiatives, the cognizant program directors that are in charge with the various programs. And we strongly encourage you that before you submit a proposal to NSF, you reach out to us to learn a bit more about the process and about do's and don'ts as far as your proposal submission is concerned. And I think that my colleagues and I would always be, to the extent possible, make ourselves available to you to answer all your questions. As far as NSF support for academic basic research is concerned, MPS supports about 70%, so more than 2/3 of the research done in mathematics, and about 35 to 40% of the research in academia in chemistry, materials, physics, and astronomy. We note here that as far as the physical sciences are concerned, the other federal agencies that have significant portfolios in this area, like the Department of Energy and NASA and others. Let's look a little bit at numbers. These numbers are not always current in this type of slide decks. Here we are showing the numbers for FY21. And the purpose of actually looking at these numbers per se is to actually get a feel for what usually happens at NSF. We receive a large number of proposals. We use lots and lots of reviewers to process and review the merits of these proposals, and then we make awards. We have a large footprint, as we already know. If you look at trends over the years, the funding rate is somewhere between 25 and 30%. The next slide will actually show some specific numbers there. Again, in terms of trends, you can see that the funding rates are pretty steady. There are ups and downs, but nothing really major happens from year to year. So there are lots of numbers here that you can look at, but at the end of the day, what we really want to emphasize is the fact that we strongly encourage you to think about what kind of research you want to propose. Find a program that is as close as possible to the core of your research, and submit a proposal in which you describe the scope of work and you request resources adequate to actually address that particular research. So these numbers that we are showing here are just for your information purposes. But really, when we are talking about writing a proposal and finding a program and submitting that proposal, it's best to actually not try to aim that proposal to a particular funding level, but rather to focus on what the research is about, which program you think should take the lead in reviewing that particular proposal, identifying other programs that your research touches upon, and then cost it consistently with the duration of the program, the project, and the scope of work that you propose to undertake. Let's talk a little bit more about MPS science. As we said before, the actual science comes through its 5 divisions. And over the next few slides, I will highlight some specific programs across the various divisions and MPS. And we are deliberately highlighting programs and funding opportunities that have an interdisciplinary nature. So let's begin by saying a few things about the Molecular Foundations of Biotechnology initiative at NSF. The purpose of this initiative is to support new approaches in molecular sciences, to drive new directions in biotechnology, and target a broad, and the initiative itself targets a broad annual set of themes that can be pursued through collaborative, high-risk, high-impact projects. Next on the deck, we will be talking about quantum information science and engineering. You may remember that a few years ago, NSF had a initiative in a big idea called Quantum Leap, driving the transition to the second quantum revolution, quantum control. In current NSF documents, in our budget request to Congress, we stopped using the quantum leap terminology, and we reverted to the recognized quantum information science and engineering theme. Regardless of the actual name of this particular initiative, NSF is committed to supporting research involving physicists, mathematicians, chemists, and engineers, that research that addresses the manipulation of quantum states and control of material light interactions. It's worth noting that this initiative at NSF is strongly connected to the National Quantum Initiative, the Congress Act that Congress passed a few years back. And in that line, this research benefits from cooperation and coordination from other federal agencies and NSF, including some international partnerships. A few more details about this program. In the past few years, we try to address research at different levels. One of those levels is the center level. We funded 5 Quantum Leap Challenge Institutes, which represent large-scale interdisciplinary research projects to advance the frontiers of quantum information science. The topics covered by these institutes concern quantum computing, quantum communication, quantum simulation, and quantum sensing. And we also have a Quantum Leap Challenge Institute that is focused on biophysics and bioengineering. What can QIS do for those fields, and what can those fields actually do for fundamental quantum information science and engineering aspects? A different mechanism other than the complementing the Quantum Leap Challenge Institute program is the TAX program, Transformational Advances in Quantum Systems. We had several calls over the past few years. The current one, the due dates are unfortunately have passed currently, but the current activity is focused on quantum sensing challenges. The awards that are being made through this program generally are 4-year awards at the level of about $2.5 million for the duration of the program. Really the idea here is that we focus on interdisciplinary teams of 3 or more investigators, so much smaller than the Quantum Leap Challenge Institute program, but still significant. And the idea is to actually explore highly innovative, original, and potentially transformative research on a specific theme. The theme at hand right now is quantum sensing, but it is reasonable to expect that this being the 4th one in the series, there will be others in the future. So keeping abreast with the latest development and the announcements of the funding of opportunities is actually something that you might try to do. Next, let's talk about a little bit of a separate, a different initiative in the Quantum Information Science and Engineering program. This concerns expand QISC. This is focused on expanding the capacity of research capabilities across the nation, particularly in non-R1 institutions. So the idea is to cast a broad net that would bring in additional researchers that are ready to contribute to quantum information science and engineering efforts in the US. So there are 2 tracks. In 2021 and 2022, we made a number of awards. This is showing the distribution of the FY21 slate, but that was continued last year. Expand QISC is a program that we are very much excited about, and hope that you'll find a way to engage if it fits your research. Next on the dock is the set of activities done with the purpose of sustaining chemistry research in MPS. We are referring here to 3 DCLs that came out in the past few years on critical aspects of sustainability, on innovative solutions to climate change, on again sort of a repeat of but with a different theme of the solutions for sustainability of chemistry programs. All these activities really are focused on tackling identifying and addressing fundamental scientific questions underlying various types of research that have a high public impact, social impact, using chemistry methods, chemistry research. Another initiative that we currently have at NSF is the Windows on the Universe program that's focused on multi-messenger astrophysics. And the goal is listed here is to build the capabilities and accelerate the synergy and interoperability of the 3 messengers that offer the promise of an integrated multi-messenger astrophysical exploration of the universe. We note that this program has been now in effect for about 3 to 4 years. It has provided support at a level about $30 million per year to support the research and development, in the coordination, observation, interpretation of multi-messenger astrophysics type problems. Obviously, just like in everything else that we are doing, we are also emphasizing aspects of workforce development, diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. This is a program, Windows on the Universe is a program that invests both in core observational, experimental, and theoretical work, in ground-based astronomy, particle astrophysics, gravitational, nuclear, and plasma physics. It's a program that it's run with contributions mainly from the physics division of astronomy, but we have also partners in the Geo Directorate, because many of these experiments are being run at the South Pole, and therefore their involvement is essential to the success of this type of activities. Let me talk a little bit about a different type of program. So this is a program that doesn't actually have allocated resources currently, special dedicated resources currently. This is a computational and data-enabled science and engineering program. It's a meta program, and it provides a venue where programs representing MPS disciplines that use computation and data to enable science and engineering come together to actually make sure that the proposals that are being submitted are enablers for science, but perhaps have a much more emphasis on algorithmic and infrastructure type development actually find a home. This is done in recognition of the fact that MPS research requires and creates breakthroughs in algorithm simulation modeling methods. And the purpose is to identify and capitalize on opportunities for major scientific and engineering breakthroughs through new computational and data analysis approaches. This meta program has been around now for almost a decade. I've been at NSF for 10 years, and I think it was already started when I got here. So it's been more than a decade that we actually been running this program. It has been very successful. and it's something that PI is interested in harnessing the latest development in high-performance computing, algorithmic developments, and data analytics could definitely benefit from. So we hope that you'll consider it in your proposals moving forward. Another program that is different, because first and foremost, the program sits actually outside NSF, but MPS communities take a lot of benefited tremendously from this program, is the MRI program, Major Instrumentation Program. This supports provides support to acquire critical research instrumentation. Provides also opportunities to do instrument development, and it's been long-standing. It's a all of NSF type of activity, and MPS communities have been heavy consumers of resources allocated to this particular program. So please stay tuned. We have a new solicitation published, and please once again reach out to your program directors, cognizant program directors, and have a chat about how you can leverage this type of resources in building the infrastructure needed to conduct your research. Next, let's talk a little bit about the DMREF program, Designing Materials to Revolutionize and Engineer Our Future. This is a partnership between MPS Engineering and SAIS. It's intending to build a fundamental knowledge base needed to make rapid progress towards designing and making a material with a specific and desired functionality or property, and do that from first principles. So this is a tall order. It's a grand challenge. It's been around for a long time, and it's going to be at the forefront of our activities for many years to come. So please keep that in mind. It's a high priority for definitely the Division of Materials Research and their collaborators in engineering and science. Next, we were talking a minute ago about data-enabled science and engineering with the advent of AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning type of techniques that offer a promise to revolutionize the way we actually conducting our data analysis and assimilate data in our simulations and so on. MPS has a Dear Colleague letter that's welcoming proposals that are focused on development or new applications of artificial intelligence-inspired tools and techniques. There is no proposal deadline for this particular call. We accept ideas at any time, and the opportunities that are being opened are for modeling and simulation, data model analytics, concept discovery, and applications of AI in physical systems and experimentation. The submissions, once invited, are focused on, will be essentially supported through either supplement to existing awards or separate eager or raise type of awards. So the DCL shows lists a number of program directors that are working on this particular funding opportunity. So if you're interested, please reach out to one of them and have a chat about what opportunities may be available to you. Shifting gears just a bit, let's talk a little bit about the career program, early career program at NSF. This is focused on providing support for junior faculty, teacher scholars, proposals are selected based on their plan for outstanding research, excellent education, and the integration of research and education. And doing so in the context of the mission of their organizations. So it's important to keep in mind, definitely when we are comparing and contrasting with similar activities at other agencies, that NSF doesn't necessarily look at this at a research excellence prize. Obviously, we are promoting and we will always support outstanding research. So, research excellence is a condition. And it's definitely not intended as a default funding mechanism for new hires in universities across the country. So just as we said in the context of other funding opportunities, in this case as well, we encourage our prospective PIs to review the portfolio of available portfolio that NSF has developed over the years, identify programs that are close to the topic of research they would like to pursue, and reach out to the program directors overseeing those projects and have a discussion about their ideas and possible ways of actually getting support for making those ideas, those promising ideas into reality. So the deadline for these proposals is usually at the end of July. Please check the most current dates available online, and start writing your proposal and make your preparations as early as possible. Okay, so let's talk now about several of the broadening participation programs that we have available at NSF and MPS in particular. And we should start with some of the newest additions to our portfolio, namely the LEAPS and Ascend call for proposals. So LEAPS MPS is intended to actually launch new pathways for early career academic careers in mathematical and physical sciences, emphasizing supporting pre-tenure faculty and minorities serving institutions, predominantly undergraduate institutions and Carnegie Research Universities, R2 institutions. And this is definitely focused on broadening the participation in mathematical and physical sciences. There is a solicitation available for you to submit proposals to. And once again, please read carefully and see if that actually fits your needs. We welcome your proposals in this area. The second program that's listed here is the Ascend program. It's focused on mathematical and physical sciences postdoctoral research fellowships. It supports postdoctoral fellows that will broaden the participation of groups that are underrepresented in MPS fields. And it's intended to facilitate the career development and transition of these folks to a faculty position. Again, we want to make sure that we tap into all the talent available to this nation to further our goals of conducting excellence, ensuring excellence in research. And we think that this is a gap, and we would like to actually have it addressed. Next, we remind existing PIs that MPS has a call for supplements that would make possible an increased representation in MPS research, focused definitely on the underrepresented minority and increasing broadening participation in mathematical and physical sciences. So these are supplements to existing awards. They are limited to institutions that are part of the Alliance for Graduate Education and the Professoriate. Allows for the support of one additional PhD student per award, and provides support for up to 3 years of such students. For the graduate student to be eligible, we want to emphasize the fact that these students belong to underrepresented groups. We want to. This is focused on increasing broadening participation again. The idea is that the student is not currently supported by other federal government agencies. The student is a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. permanent resident. The supplement can cover parts of stipend, tuition, benefits, and indirect costs to a level of approximately $60,000 per year per supplement. Recently, MPS has enlarged our effort in fostering partnerships for research and education in MPS with the goals of increasing the recruitment, retention, and degree attainment by members of those groups that are most underrepresented in mathematical and physical sciences. And the purpose of these initiatives is to support excellent research and education endeavors. These type of awards are, these type of funding opportunities are now open in 4, I believe, of the 5 divisions in MPS. There is a call for what we call PREM, Partnerships for Research and Education in Materials. There is a call also on partnership in astronomy and astrophysics for research and education. Similar opportunities are open to our physics, the community in the purview of the physics division. The call there is called PREP, Partnerships for Research and Education in Physics. There is also a partnership for research and education in chemistry. One comment that I would actually like to make relative to all these activities that are intended to broaden the participation in research conducted by communities in the purview of the Directorate. I would like to emphasize the fact that this is a high priority for all of us. And therefore, if you do not see ourselves actually represented by any of these funding opportunities that we are going over here, do not hesitate to actually reach out to your program directors. And if you have a particular idea, please bring it to our attention. We cannot promise that we'll be able to help, but we definitely cannot help unless we know about your needs and your ideas. So please reach out to us. We would love to talk to you about that. We also have a DCL currently on the books called MPS High. It's focused on high school student research assistantships. Again, with this is support that we would like to make available to broaden the participation in the mathematical and physical sciences pipeline in this particular case, right? So the purpose is, again, to broaden the participation of high school students who are in groups that have been traditionally underrepresented and underserved in STEM. And we invite requests which foster interests in the pursuit of studies in the mathematical and physical sciences. Again, the mechanisms of actually providing support relies on supplemental funding to expand the number of research and mentoring opportunities for underrepresented high schoolers. It's focused on supplements to existing grants in MPS, and we hope that you'll be able to take advantage of this opportunity. We also would like to bring to your attention, and especially this activity is focused on new investigators, new MPS, prospective new PIs in that would be supported by MPS programs. So for a few years now, we organized workshops that would hopefully help our junior PIs to write better proposals to NSF and hopefully get funding. And again, this falls under the category of activities that are intended to broaden the participation. The picture that is shown here is from the 2019 events. The MPS divisions are taking essentially, they are rotating. We are rotating leadership of these workshops amongst the various divisions. This year the lead is the physics division, but we expect to have similar kind of efforts in the coming years. So please refer to this website, despite the fact that this is already ongoing and there's no deadline due date for the next opportunity. It would be useful for you to actually see if this type of mechanism is helpful to you, and then keep an eye on future opportunities along these lines. Next, let's talk a little bit about undergraduate research programs that our communities in MPS are taking advantage of. And the focus here is on RUI institutions that there is a solicitation 14579, which is this program has been around for a while, and is essentially here the support will be provided for eligible institutions that demonstrate how research and a research award will impact the research environment of predominantly undergraduate institutions. It's important to know that the proposal is submitted to this RUI solicitation, but the review is conducted in the programs together with all the other proposals that we receive in any particular year. So don't feel like your proposal, your research will not be heard just because you are submitting to a proposal to a solicitation that's external to MPS. NSF and MPS also support RU sites and projects. As it says here, RUI sites are based on independent proposals to initiate and conduct projects that engage a number of students in research. This program has been around for many, many years, has been very successful. My daughter also was part of an RUI years ago before she went to graduate school and took a job and everything else. So and it's quite remarkable how far the reach and how impactful such type of activities are on the lives of our students. So please keep that in mind, and we would love to talk to you about what would you see that could be beneficial for your field. So I hope that you are convinced by now that we are very much interested in actually supporting the STEM pipeline. You'll find activities that are division specific or MPS wide or NSF wide. But the bottom line at the end of the day is that we are talking about people. We are talking about serving the communities that rely on NSF funding to conduct their research and make advances. And therefore, we yet again encourage you to reach out to us at whatever level your interest is. We probably be able to actually direct you to someone that's interested in something that you're also interested in, and we hope that we can help. And just in case you have other questions, as they say, ask early and ask often. All our all the NSF personnel is listed online. You can find your programs, and you can look at the awards that we made over the years in one area or another using the NSF award search feature of the NSF website. But just assuming that you can't really get the information either from the program directors or from the information that's available online, we encourage you to actually reach out to us, and we list here the information of the deputy division directors for the 5 divisions in MPS. Reach out to us, talk to us. We would love to hear from you. And with that, thank you very much for listening to this presentation, for being here today. Thank you very much for your interest in actually engaging in research activities, research and education activities. We are here to serve you, and I'm ready to take any questions you might have. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you, and welcome back. And Bogdan, I know you ended there talking about contacting division directors or others in the various programs, and we have about 15 minutes for questions, and we'll get to the questions that we have, and please do continue to send more. But I wanted to start with the last question that we got in, because it was kind of picking up where you ended about basically, how do you start a conversation with an MPS program officer? What's the best way to really begin some of those discussions?
Thank you, Jeremy. So the best way to actually reach out to us is via email. So just send us a short email, 1 paragraph, saying that I am so-and-so, and I would like to have a chat with you regarding the program that you are leading, and see if there is an opportunity to actually, make use of that program, to submit a proposal to the program. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to contain a lot of information other than who you are and what university you are working at. And you may want to perhaps include a 1 paragraph, additional paragraph on the type of research that you are interested in, the kind of science you are doing, and that's about it. Essentially, just reach out to us. We'll get back to you. Sometimes we will be a little late responding, in which case you should send us a reminder. But for the most part, program directors respond immediately to definitely I respond to these emails within 24 hours. And essentially what I will be telling you is to give me some convenient times when we could actually talk, and then I'll send you a Zoom link and we connect. That's all there is. Great. So now let's kind of go through the questions that have come in. The first question is asking about the Division of Materials Research, that there are many programs, but it's asking the difference between condensed matter physics and solid state and materials chemistry program. And it's also asking if there's a place to find out about each program. The answer to that is yes, but I'll leave the rest to you. Yes, thank you. So for DMR, those two those 2 programs that you actually mentioned are in the Division of Materials Research. For those programs and any other program for that matter, you can always find the synopsis online. You can get to that synopsis of the program either from the division page by clicking on programs, or you can just Google NSF and the title of the program if you actually know what it is. As far as those 2 programs were concerned, one of them was the core program in condensed matter physics. It's an experimental condensed matter physics program. We also have a theoretical condensed matter physics program. But in that particular case, it was the CMP program. And the other program that you were referring to was actually a interdisciplinary program that is intended to bring together people who do chemistry, but are interested in potential solutions for material publication, if you want, and condensed matter physics. So both of them serve different roles. Each and every one of those programs serves a different role. But at the end of the day, you read about those particular programs. You do not have to get all your questions answered by reading the NSF webpage, even though that's actually very helpful. But once you actually have that information, you can already reach out to us and we can have a conversation, and then we'll guide you through the process.
Great. The next question is asking specifically about the MRI, or the Major Research Instrumentation Program, but I think this question can be more generalized. If a proposal is submitted to MPS but is deemed to be more appropriate for another directorate, would it be considered in that other directorate? Perhaps you can talk about the process of communication at NSF about proposals that have come in.
Right. Thank you. So as a PI, when you submit your proposal, you are submitted a proposal to one particular program, right? So one particular program director, the one who's actually receiving that particular proposal, will be responsible for making sure that the proposal gets reviewed appropriately. So, however, you as a PI, the moment when you are submitting the proposal, you also have the opportunity to actually indicate other programs at NSF that, in your opinion, overlap with the research that you are discussing in the proposal, right? So that's one way of actually communicating to us that your intent was to actually conduct research at the interface of several programs. Now, even if you do not actually make these suggestions on the cover page, what will happen is the program director will get the proposal, will read the proposal, and if he or she, if they realize that there is an overlap on a different program, they will reach out to their colleagues in that particular program, whether that particular program is in the same division or the same directorate or other directorate. It doesn't matter. We have friends across the foundation. We know each other. We work together pretty well. And the programs will discuss if it is appropriate for that program to actually conduct a co-review. If they accept it for co-review, then and the proposal reviews well, then we'll discuss possible co-funding and so on. But I cannot stress the following enough. It is very important to find which particular program owns most of the subject matter that you are discussing in the proposal, because you need a champion, and that champion is very important in having the necessary ammunition to actually go around the foundation and create connections to make sure that your proposal gets, is proper process.
Okay, great. The next question is asking about the mid-scale innovation program and whether that program will I guess, be having new deadlines or reissued solicitation. I would imagine that program would need to have.
Right. So what the question concerned, the person that submitted the question just used the acronym MSAIP, Mid-Scale Innovations Program in Astronomical Sciences. This is a program that generally has accepted proposal every other year, at least in recent years. And obviously, it looks like there has been a lapse in reissuing that particular solicitation since 2020. Now, NSF's position is that we do not talk about solicitations, the upcoming solicitations, until they actually hit the street, until they are cleared and published, and the entire community can read them. So please stay tuned. But it is fair to say that as far as the Division of Astronomical Sciences is concerned, they had a decadal study. The Academy published a decadal study a year ago, I believe, recently, and I would surmise, I'm not in astronomy and therefore I don't know this for a fact, but I'm surmising that what happened is that essentially the division has been weighing the various pros and cons of reissuing the solicitation, and perhaps they have different topics in mind or whatever. But all you can do really at this point is to actually get ready, do your planning. Planning is everything. And when they will be reissuing the solicitation, you'll have a chance to apply. I do not expect that there will be a decade between the two instantiations. Astronomy is very active, so there will be opportunities.
Okay, the next question is asking about the Mid-Career Advancement Program, which is a solicitation that has a few NSF directorates participating, but MPS is not currently on that solicitation. Do you know if that's something that MPS has thought about participating in, the Mid-Career Advancement Program?
We had conversations about that, but we decided that perhaps we shouldn't be part of it. This is a question that kind of goes above my pay grade, so I apologize if I'm a little vague about this. However, you may want to contact the front office in MPS and ask the question.
Okay. Let's see. And then the next question is confirming about the MPS New Investigators Workshop and where folks should go for that information.
So the workshop actually just happened Monday and Tuesday this week. So that was and there's nothing that, just like in previous conversations, right? Responses to your questions. I think it's been very successful. We are very pleased with the response that we got from the community. And all I can say right now is to actually stay tuned and look for new announcements from NSF. I think it is safe to say that given the fact that we've done this for a couple of years now and we had a very good response, there will be another one, but I do not have any details at this time.
Okay. Next question is asking about the LEAPS solicitation and whether, to decide whether to apply to LEAPS or to general investigator-initiated funding opportunities, is there any guidelines beyond to talk to a program officer in terms of determining where you might direct your proposal?
The decision is always yours, but the place to start is the one that you just mentioned. Talk to your program director and ask for advice. LEAPS and Ascent represent specific target of opportunities, areas that we want to emphasize. They are not intended to replace the existing core programs. They intended to augment, they amplify its potential for attracting a more diverse community to NSF. So depending at your point in your career and depending on the actual requirements of the various solicitations, the best person to talk to is the program director who leads the review in your general area.
Okay, and so this is a general question, it looks like, perhaps about I guess single investigator projects without co-PIs. Is that something that you see in MPS generally, or are you seeing proposals that have a PI and then up to 4 co-PIs?
It is entirely up to the folks who actually submit the proposal. If you have a center-like proposal, for instance, sometimes people list the PIs and co-PIs represent the deputy directors for the future center. It's entirely up to the community to decide if they want to elevate folks to the level of co-PI, or they just want to lead with one person and then everybody is listed in the context of the activity that they are doing. It's entirely up to you.
The next question is a question about the career program. Bogdan, I don't know if you are well versed in the career eligibility requirements and can answer this question on career. If you can't,
so
I
think I can.
Okay.
First and foremost, all the information that you need is actually in terms of eligibility requirements is in the career solicitation. So please look carefully, read carefully that text. At NSF, the so-called clock when a PI is actually eligible starts with when you actually get hired in a tenure track position at the university. So the first answer to your question, yes, it addresses, it's being addressed by it's really directed at pre-tenure PI only. And that includes RUIs. So it doesn't really matter which particular walk of life you are conducting your activity. If you are tenure track faculty, you are probably eligible to submit a proposal to the career program. That being said, do not take my word for it. Just read the text of the solicitation and you'll find your answers.
Okay, the next and last question is asking about how NSF defines mid-career faculty. And what I can say from the policy perspective is that we do not have a NSF-wide definition for mid-career faculty. If you're looking, for example, at the mid-career advancement solicitation, you want to see, again, the eligibility and descriptions within those specific solicitations. We are just about out of time. So I want to thank Bogdan. Thank you for being here today and answering questions. Thank all of you for joining us today and the sessions that we've had this week. Thank you again and have a wonderful rest of your day.